Why on earth is nobody talking about this manga? Sakamoto Days is one of the best slice-of-life action-adventure shonen gag seinen spy fiction superhuman comedy manga I've ever read. Yes, you heard me right. It is all of those things, and it's the most chaotic manga that I've read in a while. What? Sakamoto Days follows the story of the world's greatest hitman, Sakamoto Taro. And what I mean by world's greatest, I mean this dude can literally one-up John Wick. He may not look the part, but just trust me, okay? Trust me. Anyhow, after going to school to become an assassin and spending a long time in the field, Sakamoto feels a sense of emptiness, and he truly doesn't want to hurt anyone anymore. Maybe it's because, well, you guessed it, he's in love. He truly begins to understand what life really means through this person, and he sees how horrible and horrific this line of work truly is. So he gives up this field for his family. Fast forward into the future, Sakamoto is happily married in Japan, and with his family, he owns a convenience store, and he's living a super peaceful and happy life. That is, until the day Asakura Shin, his former sidekick, plans to eliminate him. You heard me right. He pulls up to his house. Well, at least tries to. My boy ain't got a chance. It's like if Buggy pulled up to Shanks or Plankton pulling up to Mr. Krabs only to get full boxed, clipped, and pieced repetitively. And okay, I'll calm down. Moving on, Sakamoto shows no aggression towards Shin and feels so bad for him. In fact, he even welcomes him into his family and gives him a job. Like, that's how bad he feels for this guy. Anyhow, after this encounter, Sakamoto is no longer under the radar. And so, there's a bounty placed upon his head. After discovering that he's alive, all of the strongest assassins in the world have one goal, and that is to eliminate the so-called strongest hitman, Sakamoto. Now that I've kind of given you all an introduction to the story, it's time to talk about the peak, the mid, and the ugly of Sakamoto Days. First off, I want to say that Sakamoto Taro is an amazing protagonist. He's one of my favorite new-gen characters. I mean, he's just so well written. Speaking of the characters, all of them have their own unique personalities and traits, and honestly, you can't really hate any of them. The characters really make this story shine. I mean, in a couple years, they're gonna be classic Shonen Jump characters. Another thing that I really adore about this series is how it genre blends. One moment you'll be reading an action manga, and then in the next you'll be reading a gag manga, and somehow it works. Sakamoto Days really knows how to put on a show and keep you entertained. It's just a fun and quirky adventure. I mean, it has something for everyone. There's only one thing I'd like to talk about under the mid category, and that's the fact that a lot of people complain about this series because they have no idea what they're getting into. People jump into this series thinking, oh, it's gonna be an action movie. It's gonna be like John Wick, where we have like all these amazing action scenes and stuff. Yes, the manga is like that, and that's certainly not the full picture. Sakamoto Days is meant to be a very complex, chaotic series, and it's not going to stay in one spot throughout the entirety. You're gonna have your intense moments, you're gonna have the car chasing scenes, the gunfire, all of that stuff, but that's not gonna be the entirety of the manga. I guess what I'm trying to say is, truly pay attention to the aspects that aren't action, because this story has so much more to tell than just fighting. Now, there's only one thing that's ugly about this series, and that is the fact that it has no anime adaptation. Sakamoto Days is the best manga I've read in years, and it deserves an anime adaptation. I mean, like, just yesterday, Kaiji number 8 got an anime adaptation. Why not Sakamoto Days? This series would work so well as an anime. Now, if you go on IMDb, it says that there's an anime coming out, but I don't believe that. I need an announcement. And the fact that a lot of people aren't consuming this piece of media because they don't read manga is honestly crazy. Please, any studio, I need Sakamoto Days animated. Anyhow, Sakamoto Days is a one-of-a-kind must-read manga. This is the highest rated score I've given to a series on this channel, and it deserves it. Go read Sakamoto Days. You won't be disappointed.